Oke, assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Uh, Hello everyone, welcome back to WTT edition Weekend Digital, and we have a speaker today from RPL student. Please welcome Valian Sayoga Chandra. And for today, WTT, the material is about Tailwind and CSS. Okay, Valian, time is yours.
Okay, thank you, Farizu Khairumuna, for the introduction and for the opening. So now I'm going to present to you guys about basic of Tailwind CSS. So if you don't know Tailwind CSS is, Tailwind is like a framework of CSS. It's pretty simple actually, and yeah, you can use CSS inside the HTML code. So let me just present to you guys. Wait. So yeah, this is Tailwind. Tailwind is like a framework of CSS, as I said before, and yeah, if you use Tailwind, you can use something inside the class. So in this example of picture right here, so there's an HTML code here, and there's this script of a source, the source of Tailwind, and this is the code for HTML. So there are text 3XL, font bold, underline, and then there's hello world. So this is the very basic, and of course, this is just the documentation of Tailwind. If you want to use Tailwind, you can use these four installation that you can use. The first one is Tailwind CLI. This is the most recommended one. Of course, using npm, and of course using terminal. And then, if you want to make a big project using Tailwind, this is the most recommended one. And then there's using post CSS, another npm, but of course still recommend using CLI. And then framework guides, this is just the framework guides. There are Laravel, Vite, SolidJS, and others. And then we can also use CDN. So CDN is like the very basic one. If you just want to maybe learn how to use Tailwind, you can use CDN. So okay, if you want, then now we can go to our VS Code. Wait, let me stop sharing first. Okay, so let me wait. Present share screen. Code. Stop using Chrome. So yeah, wait. Let me introduce a little more about Tailwind. So here is the documentation of Tailwind, and of course this is the installation. There are four ways to install in Tailwind, and then here in the left we can quick search if you want to, and we can search anything we want. And of course, first we are going to the first one, that is layouting. So there's aspect ratio, and then you can find anything. If you don't understand how to use Tailwind, you can search here, of course, and there's container. So container, there is container breakpoint none, and then the properties is with 100%, 100%. And then container SM with 640 px with max width of 640 px, and then MD SM is small, MD is medium, LG is large, XL is extra large, and 2XL is 2 extra large. So it's much bigger. And then yeah, you can find anything you want here, like columns 1, columns 2, columns 3. And then there's box sizing, box border class is you can write the properties is box sizing border box. And then yeah, so if you don't understand, you can search. Wait, you can find it. Uh, wait, here. Oops, wait. Okay, so yeah, if you don't understand, like maybe if you want to use Tailwind inside your projects, you can search here example like maybe background. So there are background size, repeat, position, origin, image, and if you scroll down, there are more background blend mode and others. But maybe background color. Here is BG inherit. There is inherit none, and then BG current. There is current color. That is gray, and then BG transparent, and then black, and then white. Slate 50, slate 100, slate 200, slate 300, and then slate 400, 500 until 950, and then there's gray. And if you don't know how to use it, you just need to put it inside the class, the class attribute inside the VS Code. There are a lot of things here. As you can see, these are all the colors inside the background colors. And then this is the example of the background color. So this button class BG sky 500 slash 100. So this is the background sky. Sky is the color, and then the background sky 500 slash 100 is it means that the sky is the color is like 500, and then the opacity is 100. So the when the opacity is 100, the opacity is very clear that the color is background sky of 500. And then this BG background sky 500 slash 75 is the opacity is 75. So the color is a little bit more not really shown up. And then the 50, of course, it's half of this color. And then there's also this BG background sky 500 0.06. The opacity is 0.06. Of course, there are hover and then MD. Yeah, this is more advanced of Tailwind. And then if you don't still, if you can just search something again, like maybe background image. So there's BG none. There's that is the background image. There is none, and then background gradient to top, background gradient to top, and then to top right, to the right, to the bottom right, the bottom, and then bottom left, and then top left. So these are the linear gradients. It's simple like this. So in this the first one is gradient of cayenne 500 to blue 500. So this is one is cayenne, and then this one is blue. So if you see this the background gradient to R, so R means right. So this is from left, the from cayenne to blue 500. So it's to blue 500 to the right. And then of course the next one is background gradient to right from sky 500 to indigo 500. So sky 500 right here, and then indigo 500 right here. And then like the same is with violet and fuchsia, and then the purple 500 to pink 500. And then if you don't know what's this, age 14, it means height. You can search here, height, external height. There. So here, the utilities for setting the height of an element. So there's h0, the height of 0px, and then hpx means that the height is 1px, h 0.5 means the height of 0.125 rem, and then 1.5, 2, 2.53, and then all the way up to 96. But there's a couple numbers that are not here, like there's the 32, and then it skipped until 36, 28 to 32, 24, 28, and then 40, 44, 48, 52. It's not like, I don't know why. It's just inside the Tailwind CSS. And then of course there's H auto, that is height auto, and then H 1.5, 1.5, that is height of 50%, H 1.1 slash 3, it means height of 33.33,000%, and then H 2.2 slash 3, that is H height of 66% or 67% if you say. And yeah, there are a lot of things here. It's very complicated, and the way you use Tailwind CSS is you use this one, the class. So you put the class attribute, and then it will automatically like make the layout for you. Example, like if you like before, wait, like this. So this one is div class with a height of 14. So the height is 14 and the width is auto. and then the background gradient to right from kind 500 to blue 500. That's the way you use Tailwind CSS. And maybe we'll go to the next one. Maybe border. Yeah, border. So there is border width. So this is border 0 with a border width of 0 px, border 2 with 2 px, 4 with 4 px, 8 with 8 px, and then there's just a border. There is a border with 1 px, and then border x0 with border left width of 0 px and border right width with 0 px. So there's also x and y here. So it's not just like border r is right, right? R is right, left, L is left, and then T is top, B is bottom. But there are also X and Y. So X is left and right, and Y is of course top and bottom. So there are border for all the way to border 8, the most biggest border. And then of course there's border X normal, that is 1 px, and then Y to all the way to 8, and then S is inline start with width of 0 px until 8. So there are a lot of things you can search here, example like this. So there's a division class with a border, normal border, and then a border with the color of sky, and then a 500. So this is the result of the border. And then this is border 2. Border 2 is much more bigger border, is 2 px. So you can see the border sky 500 is much more bold. And then the border 4 again, and then the border 8 is the biggest one. Of course, there are border T. T is top, right is right, bottom B is bottom, and left is left. So if you want to make maybe like a nav bar, but you want the border to be on the bottom, you can use border B4 or border B1. I mean border B2 or just border B. And then of course, don't forget to put the color like border indigo 500, or maybe you want border gray 500/50 or anything else. And then this is the border X4. The border X is right and left, and then Y is top and bottom. Next to the maybe border, after border, maybe like margin. Yeah, margin. So if you don't know what margin is the like a space between how do I say this? Like space from the parent, not the parent, like the content to the parent. So it's a little bit difficult to say. You can search it maybe in W3 School if you don't know what margin is. So this margin, there's M0, there's margin 0, margin 0 px, and then MX, X like before, margin left and right, and then MY, margin top and bottom, and then MS, inline start, inline end, and then margin top 0. And then of course there's MXPX. If you want just 1 pixel, then you can use just PX, because there is no MX1PX or MY1PX. Just use MXPX like this. There's also 0.5, and there's this one 0.125 rem, same as 2 pixels, and then margin bottom like 2 pixels too. So 0.125 rem is same as 2 pixel. And then it's go up all the way to the same like what is it, like height. It's going all the way up to 96. And then there's also margin auto, which it will follow the parent, and then my auto, and then yeah, this is the example. So there's a div class with a margin top of 6. So this is the block of margin top with 6. So when the content has a margin in the top that is 6, and then margin right 4, this one. So the content have a margin to the right that is 4, margin bottom 8, and margin left of it 2. And then add horizontal margin that is mx8. So if you have, maybe you can say this, what is this? This box is the parent. So you have a div class of a parent, maybe a container, and then you have a block inside. And then if you can use mx8, and then the block will automatically like have a margin of 8, have a margin to the left and right of 8, same as the margin y. And then if you use edges m8, it means that it's margin 8. So it control the margin on all sides of an element using the m size utilities. You can, of course, read everything inside this using negative values. To use the negative margin value, prefix the class name with a dash to convert it to a negative value, like this. You can also use a negative value, example like this: div class minus mt8, background sky 300. So I don't really understand because I don't use these negative values often, but yeah, to use the negative value, prefix the class name with a dash to convert it to a negative value, like that. Yeah, so it's very simple and I like it. And of course, if you're still wondering what is this, you can search it here: hover, handling hover, focus, and other states. These are, you can say in CSS, it's called the, what is it? Uh, I forgot what is it called. Element. There's element in it. Oh, pseudo element and pseudo class. Yeah. So hover is, I think, a pseudo element. I don't know. I forgot what is pseudo element or pseudo class, but it's like, yeah, like this pseudo classes. Wait, where is it? Ah, this one. Pseudo classes. So it's like hover, focus, first child, and required. So pseudo elements like before, after, placeholder, and selection. Media and feature queries like responsive breakpoints, dark mode, and reverse reduced motion, and attribute selectors like dir equals to RTL and open. So here I want to talk about the pseudo class and pseudo elements. So the hover means that if you hover, the background will change, or you can do maybe like hover. This is like BG Sky 500, right? And then hover background sky 700. You can use maybe like hover and then text into white, or maybe hover scale into what. It's up to you. And then this one is hover background sky to 700, so it's much more darker like this. And then there's also like this dark MD hover background Fuchsia 600 is a little bit confusing. And this one is hover, and then there's also active, focus, focus ring, violet 300. If you see when I hover, the background turned into violet 600, so it's much more darker than background violet 500. Then active background violet 700. So if I click that, there, you can see not the border but the background. So the background when I don't hover is 500, and then when I hover is 600, and then when I click it, the background will be more darker. And then the focus outline, non-focus ring, and focus ring violet 300 is the border. So focus ring is you can make a new make a new border when you click, and then you can use focus ring and then focus ring and then the color focus ring violet 300. It makes it into that, like that. Of course, you can use first, last. There are a lot of things you can do here. And then of course there is another one called dark. So dark is this one, dark mode. So if you use dark mode, when we click the dark mode, then it will change the color into that. Example like this: background white, dark, background slate 800. So this is dark mode and this is light mode. It's a little bit confusing because I don't really use it often either. But if you want to use if you want to make a very good, like a very good website, you can use, of course, use this dark mode and light mode, because everyone wants to be in dark mode to see their background to be not really light. And then of course another one, there is responsive design. So this is the point that I really don't like when I make a website that is responsive design. Of course, maybe almost all programmers don't like making a responsive design or making a responsive website, because it is very complicated. Because we need like to make we need to make a new one, like not a new one. We make when we it's in the laptop. It's much different when we use it inside like a telephone. I mean a phone like that. This is the phone one. So we need responsive design so that we can interact the viewers when they use handphone. They are not confused like this. This is the handphone, and then when I make it bigger again, this is the laptop screen. So it's bigger, and we must like make it more better, but it's complicated. So we can use SM, and then it's 640px. The CSS is media main width of 640px, and then there's medium, LG, XL, and 2XL. But not unlike the other ones, this one we use like this. Example like image of a class with a width of 16, H is height, and W is width, and then you must write it like this. And medium, the width is 32, and then large, the width is 48. So as we can see, yeah, like that. It's very very hard to make. This is the code, and then this is the code. So div class max with medium. It's a little bit confusing. Max with medium of a margin X auto, background white, rounded XL, shadow MD, overflow hidden, and then this one MD max width of 2XL. And then of course there's a class, and the class is medium flex, medium shrink 0, and then medium height full of, and then medium width of 48. So if we make it into a responsive one, so the image will be on the top and not on the left anymore. So it's a little bit complicated. And me personally, I still a little bit confused when I make a responsive design. And then yeah, we can also use max SM, max MD, max LG. It is called media not all and min width 640px, but I don't use this at all. I only use this one, the SM, MD, LG, XL, and 2XL. Okay, and then maybe the last one, padding. This is when I said about margin last time. Margin is like the space between the content into the parent, right? But padding is the space between the parent into the content. So it's a little bit different. And yeah, it's almost the same like margin, but it's like the content will be moved when we use the padding. I sometimes use this when I need, and of course, I really the one that I really like to use is padding Y, or padding top and bottom. That is the attribute that I really like to use when I'm making this website using Tailwind. And of course, I don't really see every professional programmers using Tailwind. They sometimes use maybe like Bootstrap for easier, and then easier responsive design, or maybe like they sometimes maybe use only just normal CSS, or maybe they even make their code CSS by their own. I don't really see almost I don't see almost no one using Tailwind CSS, but yeah, it's just for our knowledge. It's important to learn CSS. I mean Tailwind CSS. And yeah, there are a lot of things that you can see. There are blur, brightness, contrast, drop shadow, and grayscale. Other like tables, border collapse, and transitions, and scale, and transforms, and rotate, translate, skew, and transform origin, and others. You can scroll and then you can read everything inside this. So maybe that's all for me. Thank you everyone for the attention, and I will give it to Farizo for back again.
Okay, thank you so much, Valian Sewe Chandra, for the about Tailwind CSS. And it is very, very useful for, especially for developer, for make it easy our work to make a front end web. Okay, maybe that's all from us. Sorry if we have some mistake. And as I say, Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.